ahead and get started with our questions. But first of all, we should just kind of introduce ourselves for a little bit. Hi everyone, my name is Alejandro Mejia. I am a sophomore secondary ed and math major from the University of South Carolina. Caroline.
Hi, so I'm Caroline Morales. I am a sophomore secondary education English major from Charlottesville, Virginia.
My name is Jalen Hill. I'm a sophomore elementary education major from Sumter, South Carolina.
Awesome. So I guess we can just go ahead and get into some of our questions. So first of all, I guess this is more like, more general question for both of y'all. How was your transition to Clemson?
So my transition to Clemson was a little rough at first. I had a hard time making friends and connecting with people. And I also had a hard time because I felt like I couldn't find anybody who was also in my major. I'm part of the honors college, and there aren't a ton of education majors in the honors college, at least not in my building. But as the school year went on, I got more comfortable with it, more comfortable with understanding my program that I was in. And I also just got more involved with the art magazine on campus and just started really finding my place and finding a group of friends that supported me, even though we were from different majors.
Okay, and Jalen?
My transition was kind of smooth. I came into Clemson through the Tigertown Summerbound program, which really benefited me because I was able to come to campus early during the summer and meet people so that when I came in for fall, I already had friends and I already had a feel of the campus and the academics.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. I definitely understand the fact that it's hard for us education majors to find other people of our own major just because like there's not that many of us. So what would you say has been your favorite academic memory at Clemson, and what about your non-academic memory?
I would say my favorite academic memory was a paper that I wrote for my English class last semester. It was a really interesting class that I really enjoyed. My professor really challenged me, and when I wrote the paper, I sent it to him. Instead of just like accepting it and saying like, a lot of ideas to push my ideas further, and I felt like I myself and really wrote an essay that I was really, really proud of, which was exciting for me. And working with him again next semester to do an honors contract for my English class, which is cool. And my favorite non-academic memory would probably be one of the last days we were on campus this fall. The weather was really nice, it was cool, so I went on a run and I just got to run through campus, and there were birds out, the bells on Old Main were ringing, and it was just a really beautiful day and a time where I just really appreciated how gorgeous campus is and just how peaceful and wonderful everything was.
For me, my favorite academic memory would probably have to be my math class, which is something that I would never say. I'm anti-math. I'm not the best at it, but my professor in math this year I began to understand his teachings helped me understand the different topics. He offered office hours, and I was able to go to his office hours. He was able to help me one-on-one. He is one of those professors that will come sit next to you in the class if you're struggling and you need help with something. So I really like that, and I'm excited because I have him again for math this upcoming school year. So I'm excited to have him again. My favorite non-academic memory would probably have to be maybe me going to my first Clemson football game. I've never been to a Clemson football game, so in the fall when I first went, the energy was electric. I love Tiger Band. I love Tiger Rag. And the thing is, it is hot, but for some reason the sun really doesn't get to you when you're in the moment. So that would probably have to be my favorite non-academic memory.
Awesome, I love it. So why would you say you chose your major and any minors if you're minoring in anything?
So I knew throughout high school that I wanted to be involved in something related to education. One of I grew up really close with my extended family. We lived all in the same town, same area as my grandparents, my aunt and uncle. And my aunt was a guidance counselor at my local high school. And I spent a lot of time with her, especially when I was in middle school. She was one of the first people who listened to me and interacted with me as an adult rather than treating me like a kid. And so I talked to her a lot about her job and what she did. And she told me a lot of stories about how she was able to help and reach out to people. And then when I got to high school, I really struggled with mental health. And I was really helped by teachers who actually reached out, who saw that I was struggling and really wanted to help me. And as I got through that period of my life, I realized that I really wanted to do what those teachers did for me for other kids. And I want to be that person in a high school who can struggle and really change their life like my teachers and my aunt did for me. So that's why I want to be a secondary education teacher, work in a high school, and hopefully eventually get my master's in school counseling so that I can really focus on helping kids in high school who need somebody to reach out to them as regards to mental health.
For me, I grew up, I'm the oldest of two younger siblings, so I felt like I've been doing it my whole life, teaching my brothers, helping them with homework, tying their shoes, but I never ever wanted to be a teacher. Maybe it wasn't until maybe my senior year of high school when I did the teacher cadet program and was able to go help out in the school that I decided that this may be something that I want to pursue. So I went ahead and majored in it, and I'm having a great time. When I go to the classroom, it's like the schoolwork is fine, but when you go to the classrooms, you get more excited. It's like, this is what I'm actually about to do. The kids gravitate for me. So I said, why not? So here I am.
Awesome, awesome. What is like, for new and incoming students, what would you say is one like must have for your first year at Clemson? Whether that's like regarding the college of education or just your college experience in general.
Have a good notebook, something that you can keep papers in. I have one that has paper so I can take notes and pockets so I can stick papers in. I usually take notes on my laptop because it's faster to type up, but it's also really helpful to have something where if I do get a physical handout, I can keep it all organized in one place, or something just to doodle on during class to help me stay focused.
For me, it wouldn't be a physical item, but have a mindset where if you're a kind of person who likes to be by yourself and do projects by yourself, what I've noticed in most of my education classes, we do a lot of collaborative work and a lot of group work. So come in with a open-minded mindset and ready to work with other people, because you really can learn a lot from other people. So that's what I would say.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay. What was the hardest lesson that you had to learn during your freshman year or your first year, whatever?
I would probably say that I'm going to have to acknowledge that the same things that affected me in high school are also going to affect me in college. I graduated high school and had some interesting family stuff happen, and I was really wanting to go to college and not think about all of that stuff ever again. And I realized pretty quickly that I couldn't just stuff my emotions and just completely move on, that the things that happened to me in the past were still going to be something that impacted me at school, and that was hard to accept. But when I finally acknowledged that and decided to go to CAPS and meet with a counselor and figure out and actually work through stuff, it was actually way better for me. And I was able to actually start putting stuff behind me instead of just pretending that it wasn't there. So a little dark, but.
My answer is definitely going to be cliche, but it's really something that time management is something that people always used to tell me in high school. You can do a little thing, but in college, you really have a lot of free time to do whatever you want to do. And I was one of those people, like, if I have a class in the morning and I have a big gap, I'm probably gonna, go to the library, go to the gym or whatever. I didn't do any of that. I really I took naps most of the time during those breaks. So time management is definitely something that, as a lesson that I've learned, that it's better just to get things done when you have the time to do it, instead of waiting and slacking off until later, because you really have all the time in the world to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Mm, so what is your opinion, your overall opinion on the College of Education?
I think that it is a small program that is really strong, and because it's small and honestly doesn't get much recognition from the rest of the school, we're able to get closer and actually feel like we are one-on-one and building relationships with other students. There's definitely disadvantages to having it be a smaller program, but overall, I think it's great that we have such a focused program and a place where you can really get to know other students and where you can get to know your professors and get to know just the way the whole thing works, rather than it just being kind of broad and not personalized.
I would definitely have to agree with Caroline. With the college education being so small, you really have a chance to get those personal connections with your classmates and professors that other big colleges wouldn't have. I've only taken a few education classes with me being such new into the major. With the education class that I've taken, most of my professors have been previous teachers, so they do have those experiences that they can share. So they're not just professors who know or are knowledgeable about the subject, but they also have experience in it as well. And I was able to create relationships with most of my professors where I was able to talk to them on a personal level. So I would say overall, the college education is a strong program, mainly because the size. So the size really doesn't matter. So if you're looking for a big program, you get those same advantages from a big program with the college education, because everybody is such a tight knit family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like how I was mentioning earlier, like the College of Education is so small that at some points, like it really does benefit us as students to kind of have those resources closer to us, rather than some maybe students on some bigger colleges. Um, so um, what's your favorite place to study? Like your favorite study spot?
Bottom floor of Cooper Library. It's really quiet, and so nobody's going to bother you. You can just relax, and it's like nobody's ever going to bother you, and so I can focus really well down there.
I'm the opposite. I love the top floor where the Starbucks is. I love to look over the view, and I love the motion and the commotion of people doing things. That's what I like the best.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with Jalen. Like for me, like I can't focus when I'm like by myself in silence. Like I have to be surrounded by people and like loudness and it's just kind of talking in the background. I don't know. So are for the professors that you've had, I guess in general, but also professors for the College of Education more specifically, um, how were they? Are they approachable? Um, are they resourceful, etc.?
I have enjoyed pretty much every class I've taken within the College of Education. My professors transitioned really well to online in the spring. They, for the most part, were really approachable, really flexible with us, and really wanted to help students, giving a lot of extra credit, dropping assignments so that students would keep their grades up and not suffer too much from switching to online only. On the other hand, I did also have a professor who wasn't always the greatest about communicating, but for that class, like what really helped was just working with other students and communicating with other people in the class to make sure that we were all on the same page about stuff when the professor wasn't as helpful.
I would definitely agree. Most, if not all, my professors were definitely approachable. They never left you guessing on what they expected for you. Everything was clear cut. They were flexible with my outside activities as well. And with the switch online, they were very flexible with on how people, because not everybody can go online, so they're very flexible on the type of assignments they were giving. So I would say definitely they're pretty top-notch professors.
All right. So, so what, do y'all know of any study abroad opportunities that are available, in the College of Education? Because I personally,
I'm sorry, not personally, but I remember me and Alejandro had the same Ed 1050 class, and I know that if you're an early childhood major, they do offer a trip to Italy to study the preschools over there.
oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure if they do that every year, but I know that's a popular thing that people talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main one I've heard about. For secondary education, there's not as many options, but secondary education majors are double majors with their specialty, so it's also harder to study abroad with that, just because it's like you are doing coursework for basically 2 different degrees. So
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing really specific for education. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that our program is very hands-on. You get a lot of hours in schools. So if you're gone for a semester, and at least like, yeah, I think it's usually like 1 semester a year, you're going to be having a hands-on class where it's considered a lab, where you're actually going to a school and observing or tutoring. And that's one of the strengths of the program. And because of that, it's a little harder to travel abroad with it.
All right. Do y'all know if any job opportunities, if any job opportunities are there at Clemson?
Well, there's lots of job opportunities on campus. This past school year, I actually it was kind of an internship with the College of Education. It's a program called Goalpost that's funded through the Federal Department of Education and put together by the Dean of the Graduate College of Education, like in charge of that program. And basically what it was is we worked in elementary schools with students who needed extra support with school. And I would go to an elementary school 3 times a week, work with the kids. We did homework time where we would work and give them extra support and get to help to get their grades up, but also just give them some time to relax, hang out with each other. And that was a really cool opportunity to get some experience in the field and also feel like I was making a difference as far as community service goes.
Awesome. So for the College of Education, what do the advising sessions look like?
From personal experience with being an elementary education major, my advisor is Stacy. And what I like about Stacy is Stacy never picks anything for you, but she always has plan A through Z for you when doing advising. So you can go to her with what you want to take, and she can implement that plan into probably 5 different options for you to pick. And she never chooses for you. She always allows you to have the last word. But she of course does, and she does add her advice, but it's always up to you. So I like that kind of advising because I'm able to have free range of what I want to take and when I want to take things.
Yeah, I've also had a really great experience with Jamie, who is the advisor for secondary education. And it's definitely been more of an approach where I get to be independent and go in there knowing what I want to take. And he's been very supportive of my academic goals, just kind of putting me on the right path. I want to do the teacher residency program for the 5th year master's, and that's something that Jamie's been talking to me about already, helping me pick classes that are going to align with that and helping me get into classes that a little earlier than I normally would because I had gen eds taken up by APs. So he's been really helpful with helping me get ahead and super supportive. Like I walked in there in the early spring and I said, like, I think I want to try to graduate early or do something. And he said, okay, like I want you to take a couple weeks and think about it. And then I walked back in a couple weeks later for my actual advising session. And he was like, okay, do you want to do this? And I said, yeah, I want to do it. He goes, okay, great. Here's your plan for the next 4 years. And he had taken the time to go ahead and set that up for me. And that was really encouraging. And he's been really great and supportive throughout the past year.
Yeah, we love our advisors at the College of Education. So do y'all know of any clubs or organizations in your college?
I know that there is a mentorship program that I did sign up for last year. I didn't put a ton of energy into it, honestly, because I was doing another mentor program at the time, so I didn't benefit from it as much, but I know that that is an option. I'm not sure of too many other clubs within it, though. Jalen, do you know more?
I don't know a lot of clubs, but an organization that I'm in is Call Me Mister, which is an organization focusing on men in education. Because we all know that education is mainly full of females, so that organization is focused around males, morally minority males in the college in the field of education. So that's the organization that I'm in.
Cool. Yeah. I also know that there are some clubs, and I think that there's one for special education majors. I know that there's one for secondary math, and I think there's also one for secondary English. So that's the ones that I know of. So yeah, I think that we are going to wrap it up for now. Thank you so much to everybody who watched and had any questions. And yeah, if y'all want to say anything else.
Go Tigers. Thank you for watching. We're always here to answer questions if you need to.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to contact any of us or the orientation email or any of your orientation ambassadors. We're here to help you, and we're here to answer any questions you might have about the process.
Yeah, congratulations on becoming a Clemson Tiger.
Bye.